Iran's IRGC just dropped a chilling animated blueprint, total destruction of the US B-2 stealth bomber daring Iranian skies. As Washington repositions forces quietly and Tehran gears up live fire drills in a flashpoint waterway, this warning screams escalation. The message is unmistakable. This is not rhetoric. This is preparation. The IRGC animation appears just months after the United States carried out Operation Midnight Hammer, a devastating strike on Iran's nuclear infrastructure. In June, B-2 bombers flew non-stop for 37 hours from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, striking Fordo, Natanz and Isfahan. 12 GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrators were dropped on Fordo, with additional bunker busters targeting Natanz. Tomahawk missiles followed, completing one of the most complex long-range strike missions in modern US military history. During that operation, analysts say Washington used deception as a weapon. B-2 bombers were sent west over the Pacific as a visible decoy, while the real strike package flew east over the Atlantic. The tactic worked, masking the true direction of attack until the bombs were already falling. Now, defense watchers believe the strategy may be repeating itself. The USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group is acting as the loud signal, while silent assets may already be moving into position at Diego Garcia. Against this backdrop, Iran is raising the stakes. Tehran has announced live-fire naval drills in the Strait of Hormuz, a choke point through which a fifth of the world's oil supply passes. The exercises will be led by the IRGC's naval forces and are scheduled next week. Iranian state media says the drills are defensive. Washington sees them as a warning shot. President Donald Trump has made his position clear. Posting on Truth Social, he said time was running out for Iran to return to nuclear negotiations. He warned that the incoming US armada is prepared to act with speed and violence. Trump referenced Operation Midnight Hammer directly, saying the next strike would be far worse.
Have you had any conversations with Iran in the last few days, and are you planning on any?
I have had, and I am planning on it, yeah. We have a lot of very big, very powerful ships sailing to Iran right now, and it would be great if we didn't have to use them. Okay?
Can you say what the message was that you shared with Iranians?
Well, I told them two things. Number one, no nuclear, and number two, stop killing protesters. They're killing them by the thousands. You know, I stopped 837 hangings 2 weeks ago, but they're going to have to do something.
Iran's response has been equally blunt. Officials say any new US attack will be met with everything Tehran has. They accuse Washington and its allies of exploiting regional unrest to push the Middle East toward a wider war. At the same time, Iran continues to frame the IRGC as a counter-terror force, even as the European Union designates it a terrorist organization.
In Iran, horrific crackdown on protesters has come at a heavy human cost. The EU already has sweeping sanctions in place, and today ministers agreed to designate Iran Revolutionary Guard as a terrorist organization. This will put them on the same footing with Daesh, Hamas, Hezbollah, Al-Qaeda. Those who operate through terror must be treated as terrorists.
Tensions in the Middle East are surging once again, and this time Europe has stepped directly into the fire. Iran erupted in fury on Thursday after the European Union formally designated the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps a terrorist organization, a move Tehran is calling a major strategic mistake. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi accused Europe of fanning the flames of war at a moment when multiple countries are scrambling to prevent an all-out regional conflict. Writing on X, IRGC said the EU was acting at Washington's behest, repeating what he called a pattern of submission after European powers helped trigger the return of UN sanctions on Iran last year. He warned, "This is our national military. Designating it a terrorist organization crosses a dangerous line." Iran's armed forces went further, blasting the decision as illogical, irresponsible, and spite-driven. In a statement carried by state media, military leaders accused the EU of blindly obeying the hegemonic and anti-human policies of the United States and Israel. But Brussels is standing firm. EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas confirmed the decision was unanimous among all 27 member states, citing Iran's bloody crackdown on nationwide protests. She said the Revolutionary Guard would now be treated on the same footing as groups like Al-Qaeda, Hamas, and ISIS.
In Iran, horrific crackdown on protesters has come at a heavy human cost. The EU already has sweeping sanctions in place, and today ministers agreed to designate Iran Revolutionary Guard as a terrorist organization. This will put them on the same footing with Daesh, Hamas, Hezbollah, Al-Qaeda. Those who operate through terror must be treated as terrorists. Ministers also imposed sanctions on those responsible for the brutal crackdown of protests, including the Minister of Interior. Repression cannot go unanswered. Beyond this, ministers adopted new sanctions on those involved in Iran's war support to Russia and expanded export controls. Ministers were clear that Iran must release all those unjustly detained, including the European Union citizens. Going forward, we must be ready to further increase pressure on the authorities and continue supporting Iran's civil society.
The EU also sanctioned 15 Iranian officials, including senior guard commanders, over a crackdown activists say has killed at least 6,373 people. While largely symbolic, the move sharply escalates international pressure on Tehran and comes as the region braces for potential military confrontation. The United States has quietly added fuel to the standoff. Another Navy destroyer, the USS Delbert D. Black, has entered the Middle East, bringing the total to 6 destroyers, alongside an aircraft carrier and additional combat ships. The USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group is already positioned in the region. President Donald Trump has warned of possible military action over Iran's repression and alleged mass executions. Iran, in response, has threatened preemptive strikes and issued warnings of live fire drills in the Strait of Hormuz, a choke point for 20% of the world's oil supply. As warships move, sanctions mount, and rhetoric hardens, the question grows louder. Is this pressure meant to restrain Iran, or is the region being pushed toward another devastating confrontation?
The Middle East is standing on the edge of a blade. And now, Iran is making something brutally clear. It will not bow down. In a series of chilling warnings, Iran's top leadership says any U.S. attack, any attack, at any level, will be treated as the start of all-out war. Not retaliation, not restraint, war. A senior advisor to Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei issued the threat plainly and deliberately, posting in both Persian and Hebrew. The message was unmistakable. A limited U.S. strike is an illusion. Iran says the response would be immediate, comprehensive, and unprecedented. And the target? The heart of Tel Aviv. This wasn't rhetoric whispered behind closed doors. It was broadcast to the world. And it didn't stop there. Iran warned that anyone who supports the aggressor, militarily, politically, or strategically, would also be in the crosshairs. In other words, this wouldn't stay local. This wouldn't stay contained. This would spread. Iran's foreign minister doubled down. Our armed forces, he said, have their fingers on the trigger, ready, waiting, prepared to respond to any aggression, on land, in the air, or at sea. Yet in the same breath, Tehran offered a sharp contrast. Iran says it is still open to a nuclear deal, but only one built on mutual respect, no threats, no coercion. A deal without humiliation, a deal without surrender. And here's the reality shaking capitals from Washington to Jerusalem. Iran believes it has already been attacked. It believes the red lines are already crossed. US warships, including a massive aircraft carrier strike group, are now positioned in Middle East waters, an armada, as US President Donald Trump called it. Trump has warned that the next strike would be far worse than the last, that time is running out, that Iran must come to the table. But Tehran's response? If pushed, Iran will respond like never before. This is not just about nuclear centrifuges. This is not just about sanctions. Iran is facing massive internal unrest, deadly crackdowns, internet blackouts, an economy under crushing pressure. US officials say the regime is weaker than ever. European leaders predict its days are numbered. But Iran's message tonight is defiant. Weakness does not mean submission. Pressure does not mean collapse. Threats do not mean obedience. Instead, Tehran is signaling something far more dangerous. That if war comes, it will not be symbolic, it will not be surgical, and it will not be restrained. The heart of Tel Aviv, regional allies, global consequences. The question now is simple and terrifying. Who blinks first? Meanwhile, beneath the surface, something is shifting in the Middle East.